Greetings, one and all. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you guys for checking this one out. All right, my peeps. So earlier this morning, I was tuned into the West Indies Facebook page, and I saw an interview that was done yesterday. We had Coley and Captain Craig Brathwaite taking questions from a few journalists, and they had some interesting things to say as it relates to the team going into Zimbabwe, then into South Africa, and what are some of the things that they are looking to achieve. So gonna talk about that. Plus, we're going to take a look at, just to talk about Matthew Nandu getting another half century. I think he's one of the players that I had said that, definitely needs to stand up in 2023 and get some runs. He's doing that, got another half century. So we'll touch on that a little bit. Plus, Hashim Amla announcing his retirement from all formats of cricket. So we're going to talk about the great man a little bit. So just go ahead and hit that subscribe button as we work through this video. So kicking things off with that interview there. Now, I must say it was a good listen, sitting down and taking in that interview for 30-35 minutes. What I can say coming out of that interview is I got much of the same thing over and over. People being safe, trying to be politically correct, trying to not be too critical of the team. I mean, you don't want to tear down your team going into a series. But, sometimes you have to speak in such a way, especially as a captain or as a coach, to let the players know that what went down in the last test match, as much as we are far apart from where Australia is definitely unacceptable, and we can't make it seem as if people can just play any old way and then move on to the next series. It can't work like that. So I heard Coley was asked, Craig Brathwaite was asked about selecting the two left arm spinners, and I think it was 2017, if I'm not mistaken, or could have been a little earlier, when we played against Zimbabwe in Zimbabwe and we won that series there. He was asked about Devendra Bishu being extremely good as a wrist spinner over there, and why is it that we are going in with two left arm spinners and not even a leg spinner? Yeah, and I am assuming most people would be thinking that Yannick Correa would have been the person if they were going to go with one left arm spinner. According to him, the two spinners in Warwican and Moti, they are quality, and it's just about going over there and being consistent with their line and length, getting the batsmen to play forward as much as possible and thing. But they believe that the two left arm spinners will be able to extract good turn from or whatever from that pitch there. So that, I guess, that covers all of that. That the two left arm spinners, they are quality, and they believe that they can get the job done. I think it was Coley that was asked about Rakeem Cornwall. He's another off spinner that quite a few people are wondering why is it that he's not in the team. And the question that was asked is whether or not there is something that Rakeem Cornwall needs to get done in order to get back into the team. I think he hasn't played for us since probably 2020, 2021, somewhere thereabout. And 2021, I think, is the last time that he played. According to Coley, the spots are extremely tight, and we have two quality spinners, in Warwican and Moti. So other people will get an opportunity in. I guess he's talking about Cornwall and Yannick Correa to showcase their skills. So I guess there's nothing that Rakeem needs to do bowling wise, but just to wait on his opportunity to come again. I am not too sure what is happening, if we are going to see that, but that is the answer that they gave. And as it relates to the batsmen, I noticed that they were not trying to deliberately skip over Zimbabwe, but they were paying a lot of attention to the South Africa tour that is coming up. And both Craig Brathwaite and Andre Coley were saying that it is no secret what we're going to get in South Africa where pace is concerned. And Craig Brathwaite is saying that it is not about talent or skill set. You understand? It is about mentality, because the talent is there. So it's about mentality when we go up against the pace bowlers and being willing to fight. And I definitely beg to differ. I beg to differ. You understand? Sometimes some of the batsmen definitely, can stick around and fight things out. But the way in which I see some of these batsmen get out against pace, it is not about mentality. They are just not good. They are just not good at some of them coming up against pace. Just like how we have batsmen that perform well when they are in the middle to lower order, but at the top order they cannot manage the moving ball, the swinging ball. It's the swinging ball at pace. It simply means they are not good enough. It's not a matter of talent. If you have a batsman and you think that batsman is quality or is world class, and you have to be taking steps to hide that same batsman from the top order, put him in the middle order, it simply means the man is not good enough. The man is not good enough to bat the swinging ball at pace. You understand? So all of who we thinking about going to South Africa and if they should be batting at 3, we're going to try bat them at 5 and get somebody that is batting at 5 to step up. It simply means the man them not good enough. They are not good enough. And if every time we have to be talking about trying to get all-rounders and wicket keepers to bat up the order, it simply means the top order batsmen aren't good. You understand? But it just goes to show where our cricket is at, because these guys continuously get selected. And I mean, people in the region, we are probably going to say it is favoritism and it is because of this and that. But it is fair to say quite a few of the other guys that we want to see in the team, they are not banging down the door. They are not knocking on the door to get in the team. So, that is why we see the same players being recycled. Where the pace bowling option is concerned, they spoke about Shannon Gabriel coming back in, and that his qualities, has a lot of experience, and I definitely agree. I agree where all of that is concerned. I am just hoping that his fitness level is up there and we don't have to worry about anything with him going into the tour. I didn't hear any question as it relates to the players on contract being pulled out of the franchise league. That would be Jason Holler, Alzari Joseph, and Kyle Mayers, and so these guys are on central contract and they were pulled out. Their names were called to be in the squad. It would have been interesting, maybe the question was asked and I didn't hear. It would have been interesting to hear one of the journalists asking if this is the way that CWI will always operate. Once you are on a contract and we want you, is it that you are going to be able to pull them all the time, or there is some sort of agreement in place that you will give these players an opportunity to play even though they are on contract? And some people that are all for the franchise cricket, I don't have a problem with people going and playing franchise cricket and making their money, but probably some fans that are die-hearted of some players will say that pulling the players might cause an issue. But this is my thing. If you're on a contract, we can pull you anytime we want. You might not want to sign a contract in the future. You understand? We can't do anything about that. CWI can't do anything about that if you don't want to sign a contract in the future. Then we continue to groom the younger players and bring them in and try and get them on contract. But if I am putting you on a contract, it simply means that your money with me is secured. You're going to get your pay right throughout the year. Right? So whenever I need you, I should be able to call upon you. And as I said, it might be a problem in the future where players might not want to sign contract, but we're already having that. So the quote-unquote stronger players that we have in our locker room now, once we are going on a tour, doesn't matter where they are playing. It could have been a Timbuktu. No matter where they are play, we need them to come play for we. You understand? So there are quite a few more things that went on in that interview, but those are some of the main things that I think needed to be addressed as relates to the assembling of the squad and batsmen and the plan going into Zimbabwe. According to the coach, the plan is to leverage his experience that he would have garnered working with these players at various levels, try and communicate well and go into the tour and try and secure victory, then move into South Africa doing the same thing. You know, I would definitely recommend you guys checking that interview out. It is on the West Indies Facebook page. You can definitely check it out and hear the questions that were asked and you know, and see what they are saying there. All right, so just before I go, Matthew Nandu getting a second half century. You know, they had a practice game yesterday and he got an even 50. You know, so shout out to him. It's good, always good when you see batsmen scoring runs. As I always say, I don't really pay a lot of attention to inter-squad games. You know, I want to see them doing all of this against the regional teams, and then as much as the regional teams aren't too strong, and then they go into the international team and do all of that. But you only can play the cricket that is in front of you, and the cricket that is in front of Nandu now is the inter-squad game. So just get the job done, move into the regional championship, get the job done there, and then we go from there. So big up to Matthew Nandu. And just before we go, Hashim Amla, earlier, I think it was last night leading into this morning, announced his retirement from all formats of cricket. You know, it's been a while since he actually stepped away from the international scene, was playing some domestic cricket, but definitely one of the better batsmen that I would have seen. You know, definitely a great off the game. I remember I think it was the first time that Amla came to the Caribbean. Don't quite remember if it was in the mid 2000s. Could have been 2009, probably 10, somewhere there about. Maybe it wasn't the first time that he came to the Caribbean, but I remember that series there, and I think he reeled off about 3 or 4 centuries in that series against us, you know. And I was like, man, this brother is really hard to deal with. And it so happened that he went on to have a very solid career. You understand? And I must say that I wish him all the best in his future endeavors. One of the gentlemen of the game as it relates to going out there, getting the job done, never in any controversy or anything like that. You know, shout out to Hashim Amla, and he really did entertain us. Big up, you know, big up to the big man. All right, my peeps, big up on yourself.